White, listen up, Stephanie White. It's game day, man. I will be live for the LA Sparks versus Indiana Fever game. Make sure you come join me for the live stream. I will be home at my setup ready to go. So you know when I get back to my studio setup, I turn all the way up. It's gonna be a good time. This is a big time game for the Indiana Fever versus a desperate LA Sparks team. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification to hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's go. Now, the Indiana Fever have a big time matchup versus the LA Sparks. All right. You already know how we do. Our 5 keys, man. The first key for the Indiana Fever to get a win over the LA Sparks, you got that right. Move, Steph. Get out the way.
Picture the scene. The Indiana Fever are standing on the precipice of an absolute unmitigated disaster. The bright lights of Los Angeles are shining down. The desperate, hungry LA Sparks are waiting on their home floor. And the entire women's basketball universe has its collective eyes glued to the hardwood, waiting to see if the most hyped, most expensive, most offensively gifted backcourt in the history of the WNBA is going to completely implode for the second straight game. But this is not just about missing shots. This is not just about opening week jitters. This is about a fundamental, catastrophic failure of leadership. This is about a head coach who is actively stubbornly standing in the way of generational greatness. Welcome back to WNBA She Serves. You already know exactly why you clicked on this video. If you are sick to your stomach of the mainstream corporate media constantly covering up for incompetent coaching staffs, if you are exhausted by the polite, sanitized public relations spin that tries to tell you everything is perfectly fine in Indianapolis, you have found your absolute sanctuary. We do not do corporate spin. We do not protect the executives hiding in their luxury suites. We give you the raw, unfiltered, high-octane truth about the business and the blood sport of professional basketball. Grab a seat, lock in, and turn your volume all the way up to the absolute maximum level. Because today, we are surgically dissecting the absolute nightmare scenario currently unfolding for the Indiana Fever. We are breaking down the 5 essential, non-negotiable keys to victory against the Los Angeles Sparks. We are exposing the horrific, embarrassing defensive schemes that have turned this team into a layup line. We are calling out the veterans who refuse to do the dirty work in the paint. And most importantly, we are looking directly at head coach Stephanie White, and we are delivering a brutal, undeniable reality check. It is the Caitlin Clark Show. Either lean into the greatness or get the hell out of the way. Let us start right at the top. Key number 1 for the Indiana Fever to survive this desperate LA Sparks team. And this is the most critical, massive adjustment that needs to happen before the ball is even tipped. Stephanie White has got to get completely, totally out of the way. Listen to the film. Look at the tape. Up to this point in the season, Stephanie White has actively refused to lean into Caitlin Clark's unprecedented greatness. Instead of building an entire offensive ecosystem around the most lethal deep-range sniper the sport has ever seen, White has stubbornly leaned out. She has desperately tried to go in different, archaic directions. She is trying to take the basketball out of Caitlin Clark's hands. She is trying to force the offense through Kelsey Mitchell in isolation. She is trying to put the ball in Raven Johnson's hands to initiate the sets. She is trying to have Aaliyah Boston play point center at the top of the key, while the greatest playmaker of a generation is literally parked in the corner, acting as a stationary decoy. It is absolute, undeniable coaching malpractice. Stephanie White wants to do absolutely everything except the one single thing that actually wins basketball games. Lean into the generational talent you drafted. In order for the Indiana Fever to win today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the 2026 season, the coaching staff is going to have to swallow their massive egos, throw away their prehistoric playbooks, lean heavily into Caitlin Clark's offensive gravity, and simply get out of the way. Which brings us to key number 2, and this one is going to make a lot of people in the Fever locker room extremely uncomfortable. Defense. We actually have to play a little bit of defense. If opposing players are hitting heavily contested, fadeaway, shot clock beating jump shots with a hand in their face, that is one thing. Sometimes the offense just beats great defense. But what we witnessed against the Dallas Wings was not great offense beating great defense. It was a complete, structural collapse. Can the Indiana Fever at least be in the general vicinity of the opposing players? Can we at least sprint back on transition defense instead of jogging and complaining to the referees? Just running back on defense alone would be a massive revolutionary improvement for this squad. Stephanie White was allegedly brought into this organization because she was touted as a defensive-minded coach. She was supposed to instill a gritty, hard-nosed, physical culture. Well, Stephanie, where is it? The defense looks absolutely horrific. It is a complete joke. Let us talk about the specific matchups tonight. Are the Indiana Fever going to allow Kelsey Plum to play one-on-one basketball all day long, just like they allowed Paige Buchers to completely dissect them in isolation? Are they going to sit back in a passive zone and let Plum dribble until she gets exactly the shot she wants? Think about the blatant double standard here. Caitlin Clark is getting double-teamed the exact second she steps out of her car in the parking lot. She is getting blitzed on every single pick and roll. Opposing defenses are treating her like she is carrying a nuclear weapon. Why on earth are the Indiana Fever not treating elite opposing guards with that exact same level of defensive aggression? The Fever should be trapping Kelsey Plum. They should be blitzing her. I want to see Lexi Hull getting significant minutes and completely face-guarding Plum the entire length of the floor. The LA Sparks just got completely obliterated by 30 points in their last game. They are coming back home, they are embarrassed, and they are going to be playing incredibly desperate basketball. If the Fever defense does not show up with absolute intensity, they are going to get run out of the Crypto.com arena. And that leads us to key number 3. This is for the bigs. This is for the front court. Aaliyah Boston, Monique Billings, Maisha Hines-Allen, Michaela Timpson. Open your ears and listen very closely. Set a real screen. This is the absolute fundamentals of the game of basketball, and the Indiana Fever front court is completely failing at it. Plant your boots in the hardwood. Widen your base and actually make physical contact with the opposing defender. Every single time it is time to set a high pick and roll for Caitlin Clark, the Fever bigs are slipping the screen early. They are slipping because they are selfishly hunting for the basketball. They assume Clark is going to get blitzed, so they bail out before the contact even happens, leaving their point guard completely exposed to a vicious double team. No, stop playing games. Stop playing selfish basketball. You are highly paid professional athletes. Actually do your part and set a bruising, physical screen. The film from the Dallas game is absolutely sickening. I am watching Aaliyah Boston playing Ring Around the Rosie at the top of the key, completely whiffing on the screen and not touching a single defender. Maisha Hines-Allen is slipping the pick before she even arrives at the logo. If it is your specific job in the offensive scheme to set a screen, and you deliberately avoid making physical contact, you should be immediately subbed out of the basketball game. Period. Here is the irony that these bigs do not seem to understand. If you actually set a bone-crushing solid screen, the defense is forced to commit to the ball handler, and more often than not, the person setting the screen is the one who ends up wide open rolling to the basket. Stop playing games, set the pick, and do your damn jobs. If lack of screening is a conversation point after this game against the Sparks, the Indiana Fever will have lost, and the front court will be entirely to blame. Now, key number 4. And honestly, it is absolutely embarrassing that we even have to discuss this at the professional level. Can we please make a wide-open layup? I do not know why this has to be a serious tactical discussion point for a team with championship aspirations. You are WNBA professionals. Can you please finish at the rim? There is absolutely no excuse for missing layup after layup after layup. Maisha Hines-Allen is out there completely smoking layups. Aaliyah Boston is missing bunnies in the restricted area. Kelsey Mitchell is blowing fast break layups. Listen, if the Indiana Fever role players had simply converted their wide-open, uncontested layups in the last game, Caitlin Clark would have easily walked away with 13 or 14 assists on the box score. People are missing wide-open layups, and they are getting paid way too much money to be performing like a junior varsity squad in the paint. It is going to be a massive physical test down there tonight. The Sparks have De'Erica Hamby. They have length. They have physicality. You are going to have to show up, absorb the contact, and actually finish the play. And finally, key number 5, the absolute most important piece of the puzzle. This one is directly for the franchise. This one is for Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, you have to find that Iowa killer instinct. You have to go into absolute GOAT mode. We have to keep it 100% real here at WNBA She Serves. We do not just criticize the coaches and the role players. We hold the superstars to the highest possible standard. Caitlin, you need to start making your shots. All of this 2 for 9, 2 for 10 from the three-point line, that is simply not going to cut it in the WNBA. Yes, it was just one game. Yes, she was shaking off 298 days of rust. Nobody is hitting the panic button over one bad shooting night. But she has to find her elite generational shooting stroke again, and she has to find it immediately. She has to find her rhythm. She has to be relentlessly aggressive. Because when Caitlin Clark is rolling, when she gets into that zone like we saw in the third quarter against Dallas, when she is hitting the step-back logo threes and threading the needle in transition, it changes the entire geometry of the basketball universe. It forces the defense to completely panic. It opens up the floor for every single player wearing an Indiana jersey. The haters are already out in full force. The mainstream media critics are already sharpening their knives. She dropped 20 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds in her first game back, and the haters were still talking crazy on television. That tells you exactly how astronomically high the bar is set for her. The expectation is perfection. Caitlin, you have to come out tonight firing on all absolute cylinders. We need a vintage, unstoppable performance. Go 6 for 11 from deep. Light it up from the three-point line, silence the Crypto.com arena, and show the world exactly why this franchise belongs to you. This team desperately needs you to make shots, because after watching the rest of the roster fumble layups and blow defensive assignments, it is crystal clear. If you don't carry them, they are going to drown. This is WNBA She Serves. We do not bow to the corporate establishment. We do not care about protecting the feelings of incompetent coaching staffs or lazy veterans. We are here to deliver the raw, uncompromising, brutal truth about the game we all love. If you appreciate the deep dive,